You're probably thinking, did RatedEm just stretch one game across 3 different videos? And to answer your question, yes, I did. We're talking about Contractors VR once again. If you haven't seen my other 2 videos, you can check them out on my channel, but today we're discussing the Zombies mode. I'm going to give my thoughts on the core Zombies mode that comes bundled with the game, and then I'll discuss the sole reason I bought Contractors VR in the first place, and that being Call of Duty Zombies maps in VR. Before we start, remember to subscribe. I talk about video games on this channel, so if you like that sort of thing, feel free to subscribe. I also live stream from time to time right here on this YouTube channel, so if you want to come hang out, crack some jokes, or discuss stuff, come join us sometime. If you can't make it to those streams live, feel free to subscribe to my second channel, RatedEm Live. I upload all the best moments from my live streams onto there. But without further ado, let's slay some zombies. Let's first talk about the Zombies mode that comes bundled with Contractors. A lot of games have a quote-unquote Zombies mode, but it always ends up being a clone of Gears of War Horde mode, which I've never really been a fan of. I love Call of Duty Zombies because it's a wave survival mode with shit to do. You have certain goals to work towards, regardless of if you're doing the Easter egg for a map or you're trying to get to a high round. For example, on Der Eisendrache, I always start off with building the Wrath of the Ancients, then the Wolf Bow. Then I get my perks, and then I get my Pack-a-Punched Haymaker and maybe an LMG. And after all of that, then I start getting to high rounds. And getting to high rounds becomes fun because I have a variety of tools to use. Other games, however, treat their wave survival modes like Bloons Tower Defense. You are stuck with one loadout for the entire game, and you just buy defenses that do all the work for you. I've never liked that style of Horde mode or Zombies mode, whatever you want to call it. However, Contractors VR actually took the liberty of copying Call of Duty Zombies. It has a few different gameplay elements, so it's not a one-to-one recreation out of the box. It's got a skill tree, and instead of a mystery box, you advance through this sort of tier-based weapon tree thing, but there's points, there's a larger explorable map, there's hellhounds, it's all very akin to Call of Duty Zombies. However, the complaints I made about the game's single-player content linger in Zombies. I feel like I have very little ammo, and the enemies have way too much health. Buying ammo is also somewhat costly, so you have to have some real precise aim. One complaint that I want to make is that I find running around zombies in a way that's like training from Call of Duty Zombies is really disorienting in VR. And it's also kind of scary whipping your head around to make sure you're not about to get hit when you got a relatively heavy computer on your face. I felt this way about both the main game Zombies mode and the mods that I played later. The base game Zombies mode isn't terrible by any means, but it really didn't grip me in a way that made me want to play it for a long period of time. So I gathered some friends and we moved on to the whole reason I bought Contractors VR, the Call of Duty Zombies mods. Someone has programmed a custom mode into the game that puts zombies from Call of Duty into the game with very similar behavior, a near identical point system, and custom guns from the games. A handful of other people have made maps that work in tandem with that mod to bring the console experience to virtual reality. We played 4 mods, and by we I mean me, Lane, and Houston. We played Kino der Toten, 5, Town, and this weird half-assed Five Nights at Freddy's one because we thought it was funny. Kino was arguably the best one. I felt like it had the most polish to it in terms of accuracy to the original map, the guns felt great, it was a really good starting point for us. It wasn't too difficult either, even little things like setting up Pack-a-Punch worked, and there was even Nova Crawlers. This honestly blew my mind. I had a smile on my face the entire time we were playing Kino. 5 was not terrible by any means, but it certainly felt a little bit more difficult. It didn't look all too polished, especially compared to Kino, but it worked pretty well. It was just not as fun, honestly. We actually played the Five Nights at Freddy's one next, and this one was arguably the most difficult. Obviously, this isn't a map from any of the games and is a completely original creation by someone, I don't know who, but some individual out there who loves to make others suffer. The starting room was really weird, and the door prices were reflective of the German post-war economy. The first door was 2,000 points, which is just absurd. I will admit the map did do some pretty unique things. There were randomized wall buys and also different rarities to guns, which would affect attachments, damage, and ammo count. But we legitimately could not get the power on because there was a door that was 4,000 points, and then there were 6 doors behind it that were all also 4,000 points, and we didn't know which one had power. But I will admit, it was pretty cool to just run around this big open area and shoot zombies. There's also Halo guns on this map for some reason, but I'm not complaining, it was pretty unique. Not a terrible map, but the zombie spawns were crazy high, and so were the door prices. The final one we touched was Town, which I'll admit is one of my favorite maps from the original game. Playing this in VR was really tough. This is where I really felt the difficulty of whipping my head around to see where all the zombies were. I don't know why it was this map that made me feel that way, but it's something I noticed in our playtime with it. Also, Town is infamous for having these little cracks in the street that have flowing lava through them, and in the original game there's a sound cue as well as a visual cue for when you get hit. But in this game there was no visual cue, and the sound was so drowned out by the zombie sounds, so I was legitimately getting downed because of my inability to get out of the lava. This one felt very accurate to the base game though. There were no real hiccups with this one, and it was just as enjoyable as Kino was. Town was a lot of fun, even if I died a lot. So overall, Zombies in Contractors VR is a pretty decent time, regardless if you play the base game Zombies mode or dabble into modded territory. If you like Call of Duty Zombies, you're gonna have fun. If you're on Quest, the mods required to play Call of Duty Zombies are all cross-platform, so you can play them even if you get the standalone version of the game rather than the PC version like I do. And hey, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also feel free to leave a comment as I try to reply to as many as I can. If you want to check out more videos, you can do so here, as well as check out RatedEm Live, which is where I upload the best moments from all of my live streams. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.